Hello, allow me to share with you this phenomenon which has come about because of the wide use of information technology. I am referring to digital poverty. What is digital poverty? Digital poverty is the poverty of not having the devices, internet, or skills needed to use modern technology. It also means not feeling confident using these tools, which can make it harder for people to take part in today's digital world. So it's a very familiar experience, especially for those who are into certain professions like teaching, because we might have experienced this phenomenon when we started using online instruction modalities like the LMS and Zoom or Google Classroom or Google Meet, no, these platforms, no, when we may have felt that we were insufficiently trained, or when we may have felt that our students were not really prepared to shift into online modality. So digital poverty is not uncommon. It may also have been a shared experience with those in the other fields or industries. No, like for example, those in business or trade when they had suddenly need to shift to online marketing, for example, no, and they lack the experience and the training, and that their clients or customers may not have access also to the platform. So um, this from the definition you see that this phenomenon may exist in several ways, no, and these are the most common ways of experiencing digital poverty. First, it may be experienced by those who are digitally poor because they lack access to ICT goods and services, because perhaps they cannot pay for monthly subscription, or perhaps they find promos or plans as expensive, and they have other priorities, no, not only the access of internet, no, and other digital means, like for example you may not have your cell phones, tablets or computers, or other devices which are available to others because of your financial challenges. So digital poverty here is due to economic poverty. The second, you may experience being digitally poor when you do not use ICTs because we lack the abilities to maximize the technology. This is what I have said earlier, that there were many who have opted to retire during the pandemic in their teaching career because they could not keep up with digital technology in the delivery of instructions, for example. Sometimes students may also find it difficult to navigate online resources and cope with digital modalities because they lack the orientation on how to use the internet. Well, actually, this is not, parang we might see that this is absurd because surveys show that, or data show that actually 99% or almost all Filipinos could access, well, it's in 90 to 99% Filipinos could have access to in the internet. And most of us have cell phones, no? Yung iba nga, nagdadalawa yung cell phones. And almost all of those who have access to the internet even have access to social media. So what lack of ability are we talking about? The ability I am talking about here is the specific ability for a particular field. For example, while you may know how to navigate social media, you might not know how to make use of the LMS like Moodle or other, or Google Classroom, for example. No, this goes for both the teacher and the student. The third one is also very true. You may experience digitally poor if you do not use the ICT due to the lack of services. Admittedly, there are some places in the Philippines where there is no internet connectivity. In fact, this conglomeration, this combination of all these reasons was the inspiration for the DepEd, for example, in devising other means of delivering education. No? They had to resort to modules and other modalities or means. No? Now, speaking about this third reason or experience of being digitally poor, you might be interested in knowing that recent surveys, well, actually, this is late na siya, 2020, show that Luzon is most digitally connected. Sila ang may maraming um, um, connectivity sa kanilang mga household. Left behind are Visayas, pero hindi masyadong malayo ang Visayas. Pero really left behind is Mindanao, no? In fact, it has been said that of all the regions in the entire Philippines, it is the BARM which has the largest percent of the rural population without sufficient access to both fixed and mobile internet, showing that these underdeveloped communications are most prevalent in poorer areas or remote areas. No? But what results come about because of that? Because of digital poverty comes a digital divide. What is this digital divide? It is the gap between people who have access to the internet, computers, and skills to use them, and those who do not, which can lead to unfair differences in learning, jobs, and staying connected with others. So this aspect of examples of aspects of human life are made difficult for those who have the experience of digital poverty. For jobs, many may be discriminated for not being literate in ICT developments, no, or literacy. No, there are some functions which require you to be literate, digitally speaking. No, and sad to say, not all of those who may seek employment are trained to use technology. No? Schools, well, apparent na yung schools, as I mentioned earlier, um, learning was made even very challenging, especially for those areas or regions where there is the prevalence of digital poverty. So compare them with the highly urbanized and more developed regions of the Philippines, we could say that in a way they would have been, if not even left behind, learning might, well, in a way, have been very challenging for them as compared, for example, to the NCR or in the major cities of the Philippines. Connectivity, which are necessary for communications, well, that's very common. No? Those who have access to the internet are more connected to the real world. They get to have a wider perspective on politics, for example, or with their social circles and families. No, um, well, what can be done actually? Um, we resort to the law. We have to be reminded that connectivity is a right. Why do I say that it is a right? May batas ba? Is there a law that compels government to enhance communication technology? I would say there is. This is what you call the Braid provision. You find this in section 10 of Article 16. This was the brainchild of Constitutional Commissioner Florangel Braid. It says that the state shall provide the policy environment for the full development of Filipino capability and emergence of communication structures suitable to the needs and aspirations of the nation and the balanced flow of information into, out of, and across the country. Now, if you look at the Constitution of the Philippines, it took effect in 1987. There was yet no internet then. But because our Constitution is broad enough, here in Section 10 of Article 16 of our Philippine Constitution, We have this applicability of the provision to the right to demand from the government the effective communications within and all throughout and across all throughout the country and perhaps even across the globe. No, so there's that legal basis for the state to assume responsibility in assuring that digital connectivity um, happens for everyone. No, but actually, the good thing is um, much has improved all throughout these years during the pandemic. In fact, in 2021, the DICT even set up free Wi-Fi using satellite technology in some parts of Mindanao, where in our earlier mention uh, have been more challenged in connectivity as compared to Luzon and Visayas. This is the government taking its lead, no? But also we have the private sectors, and one of them is Ateneo de Davao University, which during the pandemic started a project to deploy satellite internet in remote parts of Mindanao through its office called Access Mindanao. So it can be possible for there to be a private and public cooperation in allowing for the better connectivity of Filipinos to reduce incidents of digital poverty. So, with this, I hope you learned from this video, and thank you for viewing and have a great day ahead.